Welcome everyone. Today we'll have a special guide for Wolcen. Today we're going to look at nice combos with uniques, with skill choices, skill perks, and things you can kind of get the most out of your combos. So this will help you make builds, this will help you determine, the viability of your uniques, and also to get the most out of the game. So firstly, let's start off with the shield. We have the Equipment of the Sundowns. This allows a warrior class with a melee weapon or usually an axe, dagger, single-handed sword. You can have the shield on and you'll be able to cast the relic or secret spells. I keep calling them relic. So secret spells, there are 3 of them. The first one is the Bowhawk of Dawn, which is a very good spell. Followed by that, we have the Solar Fall, which is a mage, basically a damage spell, and I believe it is a casting one. And lastly, we also have the Lightbringer. What is Lightbringer? Lightbringer is a secret blink spell. And what I recommend is considering Bowhawk of Dawn for 2 reasons. One is that not only it gives you a great buff of resistance. Let's look at my resistance. So I'm currently at 3000 and I go Bowhawk. I need willpower. I can solve that. So, notice that I went to 4000, I went to 3500-ish. So this gives about 20% or 25% of the resistance, which is very nice. And increased element inflicted chances. Inside of that, you can perk for damage, and this will allow you to debuff. This becomes an auto debuff. And finally, if you go for secret damage inside of the area of effect, your damage will be converted to secret. Why is that good? Because if you look into this particular perk, you can one-shot units at 15% of the max HP when they're down to that, and also you can one-shot champions. This is really good fighting late game maps with 500 million, 100 million HP monsters. You basically lower the HP by 15%. And on top of that, if you happen to run the curse buffs, and the secret spell is also considered a part of the occult damage, this increases your damage by 7% for each curse you have, up to 210%. So I am making a build for this very soon with a dagger, and I'll be sharing that with you guys. Followed by that, the next unique on the list to look at is going to be the First Man's Legacy. Why is this item good? So let me show you my movement speed without anything. So this is a normal movement speed, and we're looking at where my movement speed is. We're looking at 7.3. Now if I buff movement speed and I buff movement speed, I'm looking at, where am I? I'm looking at, let's buff this. Looking at 12.5. So 12.5 is not bad. We can have a look how fast I run. It's not bad, right? So what's really incredible is you can run 2 uniques on your body, and those 2 uniques buff all the spells you have. So we get like 40 block chance, we get tons of defensive mechanics, we get everything that's buffed into 78%, and also another 78%. If you happen to have 1, it's pretty good. If you have 2, I'll show you the movement speed. Pretty fast, right? And it's as if I'm charging. And it's a fun one. I'll show you guys light speed with this one. So basically, I get this buff, I get this buff, and I also get a perk for movement speed, and also the super taxi. It's my break the speed. Oh, I misclicked. So let me try again. So what I meant is, I'm gonna buff my movement speed, and I'm gonna super perk it. It achieved light speed that you can't even see it. I'll try it again. So basically, buff the 2. It's so fast that the frame can't catch it. I can achieve light speed with those set of items. Yes, all the benefits of the buffs here, even with the Bowhawk of Dawn, if they're buffing you, this item will help. So that's a really good unique, and definitely consider running on most of the builds that runs at least 1 or 2 buffs. And I want to get one on my warrior, because I run block. I want 40 block chance. It's hard to get block because you sacrifice HP on the armor you wear, but with this you just get a ton of block. Followed by that, we have some strange builds, and those belts, I had one in my stash. I was like, hey, this belt is not that good, 43% magic fun. But I believe after my friend shared with me on the Chinese forum, he's been checking out Chinese forum for me, he said people are buying this belt for like 50 Chinese dollars, that's about 10 USD. And that's how much they value the belt, because this belt gives you multiplicative of the magic find. Let's say if you go into a dungeon, you mod up your map and you're looking at about 200%, 150% magic find. This belt multiplies that, and the higher the base you are, oh no, this one. The higher the base you are, the better the magic find. And I've been testing multiple maps, about 4 maps so far. I've been getting at least 1 legendary with this belt, and sometimes 3, sometimes 4, and sometimes, you know, with the Shire of Greed, sometimes 5 legendaries. So it's like a golden rooster. It hatches eggs for you, and if you nurture it, if you use it, the longer you play, the more value you get out of it. So you pretty much have at least 40 to 50% higher drop rate than most players, and with your multipliers of Magic Find, that goes further. The stats are not bad as well. Next up, there is another belt alternative. If you go for any of the debuff build, if you want to go for high damage, or if you just a little tired with clicking your mark of impunity, you can run this belt. What this belt allows you to do is the 100% chance to apply mark of impunity on hit. It doesn't say on attack, it says on hit. I've been trying it, and it seems to work with Bleeding Edge, but half of the time they don't get debuffed, other half they get debuffed. With our friend Twisted, who tried it on the mage, they get debuffed 100% of the time. So what you do is, you still want to have a skill socket here. If you don't have a skill with mark of impunity, you'll debuff enemies without any of the perks. But if you have the perks ready, when you debuff an enemy, they will actually have all the perks you have, which, you know, 10 stacks of curse, a lot of vulnerable to attacks, and they also get critical damage increase. They also get, you know, explosion at 10%, which is really good. So yeah, this basically saves the time of clicking out enemies and debuffing them. Of course, you can also go with the mark of impunity spread off to other enemies, which is not bad as well, because this means you can make it AoE, which is really fun to play, and also, you know, saves the time of clicking. So after this one, we spoke about debuff enemies. There is a unique rain that gives you debuffs, which is actually very interesting. You do lose no ailment damage, but this is okay. This is addictive damage loss, and 20% is only about 40 points. So I'm looking at 600%, so you lose 40 or 20% over here, which is not that much. And the thing is, you have chance of spreading ailments on enemies around the targeted. So if you combine this belt and this rain, you basically turn your debuffs into AoE debuffs, and this will shred enemies, and they can get debuffed multiple times, and this goes a little further. So this is a very fun one for the toxic build, for the poison build, for any of the debuff build. And if you later craft this into a legendary, you can socket it as well. About crafting uniques into legendaries, I will make a guide on it very soon, and we'll touch on that as well. I'm still looking for an unlocked black market for that. That is the only thing that's stopping me. Next up, we have the Bioflow Symbiosis. This is one of those pieces of armor, like the shield, allows you to cast a particular spell. For this one, without wearing a gun or using a bow, you can cast a particular spell with a Death Gazer. The Death Gazer is one of the best ways of debuffing enemies with status. So let's look into the Death Gazer here. The status buff is 100%. Its other buffs are not that important. The best thing is not only it debuffs enemies, it leaves a trail. Oh, this one doesn't have a trail. Did they have a trail? There was a trail, right? When it hits the enemy, right? If a shot is spot is shaped. Let's give it a try. No, it's not leaving a trail. It used to leave a trail. That's okay. So basically this have a 100% debuff chance, and this is almost instant. This is actually pretty good for mages that has lots of rage to use from, and that doesn't have a consistent way to debuff enemies with status. Now the only downside is, until you can craft this into a legendary, you can't socket the piece of unique. So you will lose some stats from the socketing. But once you achieve black market, unlock the black market, you can craft this into a legendary, you can socket it, and this gets much better, because you don't have to be using a gun to get all the benefits. After that, there are some skill combinations which I do want to share with you guys. One particularly is going to be with the Bleeding Edge. This is one of the best damage spells for almost every class. I can build on my Dot Mage, my Dot Warrior, my Bleeding Edge Crit Warrior, Bleeding Edge Rogue, the Assassins. You can build this on almost everything. Simply because there's a few must-have perks. The first one is going to be the ailment stacks that increase damage depending on the ailments. You can stack up to 30 times. Massive damage. Second one, you want it to follow you. By following you, you get at least, double the effect. Because if you don't have this, it's on 0.45. If you have it, it will follow you. And this is really good. Oh, why am I naked? Because I don't have any armor. It looks so strange. There you go. Let's be decent here. So, oh, wrong button. So next up with Bleeding Edge. The critical chance is not a priority for me anymore. What I start to look for is projectile speed. Let's see how fast it spins without the projectile speed. It spins at a decent rate, and if I take the range off, so this is what it usually normally looks like, and I was going for this, and it was okay for massive damages. But what I realized is you can go with just higher damage over time or higher DPS with the projectile speed. It boosts up your damage. And because it's spinning fast, you hit enemies more. And then the next part is you want to look into unstoppable momentum. You lose a chunk of damage, yes, but what you get is you get 3 times the value out of it. Because before this perk it's 1.45, with this perk it's 5.45. You basically triple your damage because it's spinning around you 3 more times. And with that, you pretty much have everything settled in. And notice that I actually picked all the special perks that increase the bleeding edges, you know, its ability, but not its damage. I can find stats, armor that helps with everything else, but it doesn't help with the skill itself. The only variation here is I kind of really like the speed. I can go for the variation of increased range and critical damage, and this makes the range bigger if I'm going for a quick build, and this makes the map clear faster. I think with duplicate spells, I can have 1 bleeding edge for the map clear and 1 for the boss fight. This one will be for the boss fight. So basically you walk up to the boss, and it spins, and there's so many blades, the boss is actually taking like 3 million damage a second. It's incredible, and if you look into our dot mage and dot warrior, that's how we do so much damage. So that will be a majority of the combinations of skills. Yes, there are some other ones. For example, I'm sure some of you might have heard it. There is the no CD with the free spell, and you know, it gets a little abusable, but I don't think you want to really touch it, because same as Bane of Tyranny, that will be kind of fixed, not nerfed, because it's a little broken. But those are the standard ones I think we can really get behind, and a lot of the builds can make use of those items that we find, and can make use of the spell combinations. Hopefully you find this guide helpful, and in the futures I'll be looking to crafting, looking to the end game, looking to, you know, different choice of building items, looking into combination of uniques, and making different classes. That's right, I can make a shield mage. Oh no, I can't make a shield mage because you can't use a catalyst and a shield. I wish one day I can do that. So there is a shield that gives us, you know, the shadow damage that can make into a nice shadow mage, but unfortunately mages don't have a one-handed staff. So I'm looking for a lot of different class builds, I'm looking for different things. I'm also looking to summons. So let me know in the comments what you want to look for, and you know, share with us on Discord your fun builds. What I'm really looking for is a save file that unlocks all the black market. If you guys do have one, let me know, because currently I haven't been progressing on the black market, and notice that I only got one. What that means is I want to unlock all of it. If I can unlock all of it, I can share with you guys the, you know, the method of crafting. That'll be really nice. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this particular guide, please follow onto Twitch and subscribe onto YouTube, and leave a like and a nice comment if you're free. That'll be so helpful. If you do have your Twitch Prime, consider sharing with us onto Twitch. That'll be a massive help already. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.